Mexican place on 4th and Union. Great tacos. Get the pork. Uh, and tomorrow night's burritos. They're $1 for taco. And tomorrow night's burritos for $5. And they are amazing. They're huge. All right.
All right, now I'm hungry. I'm leaving.
There you go. But stay away from the habanero sauce. Whew.
Okay, will do.
All right. See you later.
All right.
Habanero. I found out the hard way. I didn't know what it was, so I was just loading it onto my burrito and about ready to bite into it. And the lady came over that was sitting and watching me, and she came over and said, "Hot." I don't think she spoke English, but she knew enough to say hot. And I took a bite of that. And my legs started quivering. I had to run for water. Gee, you can use it for paint stripper after you're done putting it on your tacos. Man, that is some hot stuff. So I learned my lesson, but I love it now. You have to, just little amounts, but it really has a bite. It's hot, hot, hot.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh,
I just want to remind you that we're live now. So,
okay. We can't talk about habanero sauce.
well, you can. You just, don't want to talk about your neighbors, maybe.
Oh, really? Kind of like doing that. All right. Now that we're on live and recorded on YouTube. Well, top of the evening to you, sir.
Yes, good evening, Mr. McLaughlin.
Yeah, there you go.
How are things in the Lions Club?
It a little tense right now. We had a little firestorm today.
Yeah, I heard bits and pieces.
Oh, I'm sure Al's. He found me at Mama Jane's, and yeah, I heard all about it. It didn't occur to me at the time, but oh boy.
Yep.
Try to do your best.
Yeah, everybody's on edge.
Yes, that is true. On edge. I'd say that's a very appropriate.
Yep.
Darcy, there's something strange growing out of the back of your head there. Maybe your ears and the steeple.
Yep. Like a unicorn.
Oh, there. Uh-huh.
Looks like you might have a nice sunny view out your window.
Oh, yeah, it's a gorgeous day. Gorgeous. I have to get out to the swimming pool. It's last night, and I have a sliding door out to the patio, and look down, and there's a frog. It must be, oh man, good 6 inches probably. A big thing. Could have gotten that bullfrog and fried up some legs, but the thing is, every frog in the neighborhood, of course, is in my swimming pool right now. So I'm sure the neighbors are really pleased with me. But it's kind of a lovely way to go off to sleep at night.
Yes, they're quite
Frogs.
noisy sometimes.
Frogs croaking.
Mhm. How
So
about you,
anyway,
John? Do you have a window?
You can look out on 2nd Street down a long hallway.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Let's see. So we had about 12 candidates for different positions at Lions today, and we held it at Cirrhosis Park outside. And each had 3 minutes to present their case. I'd say there was a good 30, probably a good 40 people there. That's my estimation.
Mm-hmm.
So that went well, except for the firestorm.
Mm.
Oh, it just Yeah, something happened at the beginning that I still don't know. You know, it was done and I was doing the recording for Zoom. And so anyway, it's not a, it'll go away. It'll work
Mm.
itself through. People are just on edge. We, well, maybe with the weather coming and it's better, we can get outside more.
Yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah. Sun.
I heard we're gonna go back 2 steps for the health department.
Oh,
Oh,
that
I
would be
hadn't heard
disaster.
yet.
Yeah, I heard that rumor today. Came through from the high school. They're talking about,
Mm.
they're worried that sports are gonna be shut down again. Our numbers are up.
Sports.
Love the picture, Roger.
I was lucky enough to meet Mr. Owens one time, have a drink with him even. At the,
Oh, very good.
when Al and I went to the NAB convention in Las Vegas, 1981. That's how long ago it is. I'll be quiet now.
Didn't think that looked quite like you, Roger, but maybe, I don't know, you've taken off a little weight, got some glasses and
Nifty suit, yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's a 60s suit for sure.
Next time in CLC, they haven't started. Yeah, I know. I see that. Okay, I think I got you muted. Yeah. Beautiful. Love you too. I have to figure something out fast for that thing because I don't. What? What? Yeah. Front. I hear it. Come on. Oh yeah. Can you hear me?
Good evening, all.
Hey, Steve.
Good evening, Chair.
There's Steve. Okay, we've hit 5:30 on the button, so I'll call to order this meeting of the Columbia Gateway Urban Renewal Agency Board. And we'll start with a roll call. Paula.
Stacy Coburn,
Present.
Mike Cronin,
Here.
Tracy Dujic,
Here.
John Frederick,
Here.
Gary Grossman,
Present.
Steve Kramer,
Present.
Darcy Long Curtis,
Present.
Tim McLaughlin,
I'm here.
and Dan Richardson.
Dan is so far, maybe he'll join later. If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag is on Paula's screen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up, we have approval of the agenda. Are there any additions or concerns about the agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by thumbs up. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up is the usual approval of the minutes. The minutes were emailed or mailed out to you. Deal with any additions or corrections or a motion for approval.
Kramer, move approval of presented.
I'll second. Stacy Coburn.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by thumbs up. Opposed, same sign. Seeing none, the motion carries. Now comes the time for public comment. If there is anybody that would like to address the agency board during the moments of public comment, please speak now. Well, hearing and seeing none, we will move on to staff comments and project updates. For that, we'll turn to Alice.
Good evening, board. Nice to be here. A nice, warm, sunny day and not too much pollen out. At least I'm not feeling allergic this evening, so I'm happy about that. I wanted to, a couple things. There is some interest, I know, from Councilor and Board Member Richardson to get an update on the First Street project. And he's a newer member of our board and a newer member of the council. And I think it's timely for us to talk about that project. And I think we're ready to give you an update and also for those that are newer, give you some familiarize yourselves with what's included in the project, what isn't included in the project, and also talk about some possible design options. Kind of, I know that Councilor Richardson, and I'm going to call him Councilor Richardson in this case, is interested in maybe a different design than is on the table today. It's not a major change, but it would be a change in the lane configuration and a change in the striping of the project and project dimension. So he may be wanting to talk about that at the upcoming meeting, but I'm going to propose that we get an update at the next month's meeting. And assuming I don't hear anyone opposed to that idea, we'll go ahead and schedule that, and that's timely. I did tell Councilor Richardson that the appropriate place to talk about street design is probably not at this board. It's with the City Council and with our Public Works Department, because they ultimately will own the asset when we're finished. If it's something we feel strongly about, the design pieces of it, then we can weigh in and offer a recommendation to Public Works and also to the City Council. So we can talk more about that when he's in the meeting, but also next month. Yes, Chair, Councilor Kramer, or Chair Kramer has a question.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Ms. Cannon. Does Mr. Richardson's proposal have anything to do with infrastructure? That would be something that I would be interested in hearing about if that is the case. So thank you.
Chair Grossman and Board Member Kramer, the questions are really about bike facilities. Right now, the current design it just talks not about pipes and underground infrastructure, but I think he's interested in, I'm speaking for you, Councilor Richardson, and I think he's interested in maybe a different design that is currently being considered. But it's like I said before, it's not anything that will slow us down, but making a modification could happen while this project is finishing its design phase and its right-of-way phase. It won't change the dimensions, overall dimensions of the project, or even the curb line. It would just change the painting. So, so we'll do that next month, and then I steal your thunder there, Mr. Carpenter and Ms. McQuaid. We are going to be speaking about the rec center or the rec building project here in a few minutes. I do know that there is a phase of this project that is not being discussed tonight. We're really the changes to the agreement are reflective, or only speaking to 2 of the storefronts out of the 3. And I know Mr. Carpenter, Ms. McQuaid are interested in presenting some different ideas to us, different design ideas. So I'd like to put that on next month's agenda to share that with you. And I know they're ready. They have some really nice design drawings that they want to share. So we'll do that next month if that's agreeable to you as a board, but also I didn't ask Mr. Carpenter, Ms. McQuaid if that was okay until just now. So we can talk offline and see if that meets your schedule to do it then. So we'll have a full meeting next meeting in addition to approving the budget officially after Budget Committee last week. That's the conclusion of my report. Any
Boy, there
questions?
you go for short reports. Any questions for Alice? Nope, no questions. How's about that? Okay, time at this point for board member comments or questions. Do we have any board members that want to address the agency board tonight? Nope, nobody wants to talk. Okay, we're up to number 9, the action item, consideration of 4th addendum to the Recreation Building Disposition and Development Agreement for 213 through 219 East 2nd Street. So Alice.
Chair and members of the board, really pleased to be here, and I'm pleased to also have Mr. Carpenter, Ms. McQuaid in the meeting with us here and give them a chance to speak in a few minutes. But we have an update on the project. The project is moving. The timeline is pushed back a bit, appropriately so. We've been in the middle of a pandemic and there have been some other project delays, but they are feeling very confident that they will have 2 of the storefronts finished by the end of this calendar year. And we've set a date in this 4th addendum to the development. DDA stands for Development and Disposition Agreement. So it's our 4th addendum, and the delivery date would be November 30th is the proposal, and where the 2nd and 3rd installment payments of $7,500 each would be paid, but also the developer, in terms of performance milestone, meeting a performance milestone, they will have received their certificate of occupancy for both of those storefronts or both of those buildings at that time. And those are the Far East. In fact, I'm looking at them right now, the Far East buildings, storefronts. And then, as I said earlier, they're working on some plans for the 3rd storefront, and we'll be back with you next month. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about the amendments that are presented in the 4th addendum. But more than anything, I'm really pleased to be here and pleased that this project is nearing completion or getting to a place where we're going to see some construction underway, and hopefully we'll have some ice cream and candy by the end of this calendar year. So with that, and Chair, if it's okay, I would be happy to turn it over to our developers on this recreation building project.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear Carla?
Hello? Yeah.
Yep, we can hear Carla.
Great.
You disappeared, Todd, but we can hear Carla.
Well, I'm here. So I'm not sure. I'm happy to answer any
Mr.
questions.
Carpenter?
But,
I
sure.
need you to give me your name and address for the record. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, I haven't done this in a while. Todd Carpenter, 216 East 5th Street, The Dalles, Oregon, 97058. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll just give you a short summary. It took us a long time to get so we dug in after the first, before the pandemic, started digging into the rec center, and I got a little concerned about the shear wall on the front of the building because of the damage that we had done on the west side. So I engaged Tennyson to come out and take a look at that, and the shear strength of the wall and the roof line, and do some strength tests and some calculations. Also, they did a fire flight and safety because I was a little concerned about the layout. There'd been a lot of, I guess, modifications. We found the plans in the demo in the second leg of the demo after the roof collapsed. We found all the plans from 1959, and there had been some changes that weren't documented, it looked like, and so I got a little concerned with some of this stuff. So anyways, hired Tennyson to do that. They started in March, just before the pandemic. And then, they had a lot of issues with, I guess, with manpower and things like that. So they finally finished everything on the 2 east side buildings. We turned those into the city about a month ago, I think, for permit. And we were, obviously late on the original agreement, or the third DDA. And Alice and Jonathan kind of got with us and said, hey, I said, well, I don't think we're out of contract, but she said, well, you are not yet, but you're going to be very soon. And so they said we should extend that, and we'd still love to do this, and we're ready to go. And so I think we're in for permit to the county and the city. And so if this gets signed, I've got a contractor ready to go out of town, and I've got a contractor ready to go in town. And they're both ready to start as soon as next week. They've been ready to start. The one out of town's been ready to start for a month. The one in town said he could start next week. I'm probably having to do various things. The build time's about 16 weeks for everything that we need to do, 12 to 16 weeks on the 2 storefronts. And as Alice kind of indicated, or Miss Cannon, sorry, kind of indicated, we have plans for, we've engaged a different architect and engineer, Byron from LRS, on the west side, the old bowling alley side, and have some ideas for that. So we probably just hoping to just get those done and flow right into that as we finish up these 2, and pretty much just bang it out and get it done. We're definitely ready to go. So it's kind of where we're at. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Do you have any questions for Todd or Carla? Darcy?
Yeah, so I've had some questions about the front of the building, because obviously that's phase 3, but people are concerned about how it looks and going through another tourist season. And so I was just curious, what your thoughts are on that, and kind of just what the plan is, even if it's going to be that way until we do phase 3.
Yeah, so we have to pour a retaining wall before we do anything. So that front wall is in 2 of this in the east 2 buildings are holding up the roof line. And so originally we were going to put doors and windows and cut into that, which already had partially been done. And the engineer doesn't believe that's a good structure, a good enough structure to start cutting into more. So we're actually building a retaining wall that's going to take some time, 2 feet back from that wall. It's going to be a full retaining wall from the basement floor, dug in a foot all the way up to the street level, with some steel beams across, steel beams supporting the roof line with a tie into the roof, so that we can do the modifications we need to do on the front. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to cut into that and change that front until that concrete structure is done. As soon as we get that concrete structure poured, it's about a month of setup time. That'll be so we'll finish the demo. We'll come in. We'll do the cutting. It'll be all manual labor in the basement because there's not a lot of room in there. We're probably 2 months away from having that poured, done, and set. The concrete's got to cure for about 30 days. Once that's done, we're going to backfill from the concrete retaining wall to the street side wall to shore up that street side wall. And then we can start fiddling with that front. We'll start cutting in our doors and windows and get them ready. So the problem is the lead time on the doors and windows, as you guys know, I think from last stop, took us about 12 to 16 weeks. They're probably going to be the last thing that goes in, but we'll have them ready to slap in as soon as we get them. But probably going to be, it's probably going to be that way through the whole summer, unfortunately, or pretty close to the whole summer.
Okay,
If we're able to start, if we're able to start, I think the city, I don't know, Don could probably tell you, but I think the city's reviewed the drawings. So if they release them right away, then we'll get them down to the county. I think the county's been reviewing them, and I'm hoping that we're only a month with the county max, then we can start pouring that wall. So we're probably, best guess, 3 months away from pouring that wall or getting the wall complete, and then we can cut it into that thing. So today's end of April, so May, June, July. Yeah, so we're looking at pretty much the whole summer.
Okay, that's all right. So we can tell them that that's one of the first things that's happening, and then they'll see progress is being made. I think that was just really my question. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and I think as you get to a point, Todd, where you've got renderings that are pretty accurate to what's going to happen, maybe a display at last stop or some feature stories in some of the news media about where you are on the project would kind of help people understand that.
Yeah, we can definitely put out a little bit of buzz once we get the permits and we're ready to go. We'll start talking it up. We'll have people in town working out there and stuff.
Perfect.
And Chair, next month you'll know more. We can present all of this. We can give an update on the 2 eastern storefronts and what's already been approved and what's going to be built soon. And then there will be drawings presented for the 3rd storefront as well. So we'll all know soon what they're thinking about as it relates to this whole streetscape.
Cool. Well, it's just nice to be at a stage where things are moving somewhat forward. So thanks for hanging with it, Todd. And I think it'll be a great project. Commissioner Kramer.
Thank you, Chair. Just a quick clarification and a comment. Mr. Carpenter, when you refer to the county, do you refer to the county as building codes? He froze up on us. I'm assuming that that's what he's meaning. So,
He does. Yes.
So, okay,
I can't hear Mr. Kramer. Carla says she can. Can somebody repeat what he's asking? I can hear.
Yeah. If you want to repeat that, Steve, maybe you can hear it.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Mr. Carpenter, when you refer to the county, you are referring to building codes?
Sorry, I can't hear Mr. Kramer at all.
Well, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you. Mhm.
So the question is, he's wanting to know which county department you're working with when you talk about the county, and it's the building codes department. And so you're trying to get a building permit for this project, is what you've told me. Is that correct?
Yeah, Wasco County. It's Kylie. It's yeah, building and planning down there. Kylie. I can't remember her last name.
Ruby.
Kylie Ruby. Yeah, thank you. And I think they're working with somebody out of Hood River for the engineering side. And I don't know if it's been passed to that person yet or not.
Okay, I can check on that tomorrow.
Todd?
But I sent Kylie an email today and let her know the new cost, because it's quite a significant cost difference from what we were doing a couple, year and a half ago.
Steve, then Tracy, then Mike.
Yeah, thanks. I just, when we talk about building codes and planning, and most of this is running through city planning, and the building permit comes from our building codes division. And I just wanted to make that clear because we have press in the room tonight. And I just wanted to make sure on that. But the other comment that I had was for Ms. McQuaid and Mr. Carpenter, that I appreciate your tenacity with this, your motivation to move forward with this. And I do understand that remodeling is a tough job. And I just wanted to thank you both for pushing forward with this project, because I'm 100% in favor of you guys succeeding. So thank you for all you're doing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Kramer. Tracy.
Can you remind me again, it was like a candy and an ice cream store. What are the other things that are going in there? Maybe he can't hear me.
Mr. Carpenter, do you need me to repeat that question?
Yeah, please. I can only hear you and Mr. Grossman for some reason. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. She's asking if you know, besides the ice cream and candy store, if you know the other tenant or tenants that you might include in the storefronts there.
Yeah, I don't. So the furthest east one, the idea is still to try to bring in, an artisan co-op or a craftsman co-op, something like what they have in Hood River, of a bunch of artists to be in there, so that we can have something for, some kind of made in the gorge or made in the Dalles kind of thing for travel and tourism. That would be our preference. But we tested that with some people down at Last Stop during the off season, with about 6 or 7 vendors, and they all seem interested. The idea will be just to to basically have a break even for the taxes. We're not going to try to gouge anybody or do anything. We just want to have a good product for the community. The downstairs area, we're tossing things around right now. The furthest east side, based on the fire, flight, and safety and the way the building's laid out with exits, the furthest east side where the old archery range was can only be used for storage. So that's all we can do down there, unfortunately. Under the middle building, the Horn Saloon, we've got that pegged as a recreation type facility. So billiards or arcade, things like that is what we're kind of intending on doing down there. So a family friendly kind of thing for the community, and probably the same over on the other side too. But that east side end is just storage, unfortunately, down below.
Thanks, Todd. Mike, you had a comment or a question? Yeah, muted.
Sorry about that. I was just curious about the liquor license, and if that Mr. Carpenter is able to use that with the establishment that he's renovating, or if that just stays with his restaurant, he'd have to reapply, or if there's even a plan to have liquor service at the new facility.
I heard that question. I can hear Mr. Cronin. We don't intend to do any liquor out of the ice cream candy shop.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions for Todd? And I'm sure Carla's standing by someplace in there.
Yeah, she froze up on my screen, but she's sitting right here.
Okay.
She's right here.
Anything further? If not, Alice, anything more you want to add to the consideration of the fourth addendum?
No, I guess what I would normally do, although now I have a frozen screen, so give me a minute. I will read our recommendation. And
I have a question or a
please.
comment specifically about the addendum. So there are several places that refer to November 30th, 2020 at the bottom paragraph of page 1, which is page 10 in the packet. And then on the next page, there's 3 more references, and I think it's supposed to be 2021.
Yes. So we can correct that if they're in the agreement incorrectly. So.
Good catch, Darcy. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore. So
I think Exhibit C, sorry guys, I think Exhibit C covers that on page 14, Darcy, or Miss Long.
We'll take a look at that. And that's a kind of a scrivener's error, but we can make that change prior to everyone signing it.
Sure. It might be appropriate to entertain a motion if the board is otherwise agreeable to the substance of the DDA as presented, to make a motion to amend it to replace any reference of 2020 where 2021 is more appropriate. And we can sort that out when it comes time for signature afterwards if the board so approves.
good, thanks, Jonathan.
So, Chair, I will read the staff recommendation, and that's motion language you can use, that to move to authorize the execution of the fourth addendum to the disposition and development agreement between the Columbia Gateway Urban Renewal Agency and Mr. Carpenter and Ms. Carla McQuaid for property known as the Recreation Building located at 213 to 2219 East 2nd Street, with amendments made to correct November 30th, 2020 from November 30th, 2020 to 2021 in appropriate places.
Okay, is everybody got the motion down? If so, I would be pleased to have somebody make said motion and second it.
I'll make the motion since I'm the one that brought that up.
Yeah, that's your punishment, bud.
Yeah, that's right. I'll eat it. Move to authorize the execution of the fourth addendum to the disposition and development agreement between the Columbia Gateway Urban Renewal Agency and Mr. Todd Carpenter and Ms. Carla McQuaid for property known as the Recreation Building located at 213 to 219 East 2nd Street, with changes from November 30th, 2020 to November 30th, 2021 as appropriate.
You have the motion. Do I have a second?
Kramer will second.
Kramer seconds. Okay, all of those in favor of the motion signify. Oh, Tim, do you have something? Some discussion?
No, I was just voting.
Okay, all of those in favor signify by a thumbs up or raise your hand, Tim. Thank you. All right, motion carries. Moving on to item number 10, we will recess to executive session in accordance with ORS 1926602E to conduct deliberations with persons designated by the governing body to negotiate real property transactions. Members of the press may attend the executive session. They are reminded that there is no reporting on any of the discussion when we're in executive session. So with that, I will look for everybody to rejoin us on executive session. it'll take Paula a minute or two to disconnect and reconnect. So we'll give her time. So see you on the other side.
Right.